Good morning. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you are a regular, welcome back. Thank you very much. Um, this is live, but I do repost it later so that you can watch it at your leisure. We are going to be looking at the new releases that are being set into the wild this week, and we look at each genre each day of the week. Mondays, we look at cozy mysteries. On Tuesdays, we look at mysteries and thrillers. On Wednesdays, we look at romance. On Thursdays, we look at fantasy and science fiction. And on Friday is Freeform Friday, and it's whatever the heck we want to. Often it is stuff we didn't have time for during the week or other interesting things. Quick announcements. I don't have sprints tonight. I don't do them on Monday night. Tonight is Storms night. I do them 3 times a week, though. I do them on every Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, and on Saturday afternoons at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Good morning, Kim. How was your weekend? How you feeling? We are going to jump in because there are a lot of them. So these are the new releases in Cozy Mysteries this week. This is A Cup of Flour, A Pinch of Death by Valerie Burns, third in a Baker Street mystery. Thanks to Maddie's social media savvy, Baby Cake's Bakery is becoming a huge success, so much so that she's attracted the attention of her former nemesis, the fiancé stealing Brandy Denton. When Brandy blows into New Bison like an ill wind and disrupts a vlog Maddie's filming, their argument goes viral. After Brandy's body is found at Baby Cake's, Maddie instantly goes from viral sensation to murder suspect. As Maddie is still reeling from the murder, a stranger shows up in the bakery claiming to have been a friend of Octavia. He believes Maddie is in danger. When a second body washes up on the lake shore, it seems clear someone's out to kill to keep a secret, and it may have to do with her great aunt. Maddie rallies her aunt's friends, the Baker Street irregulars, Sheriff April Johnson, and her veterinarian boyfriend Michael, not to mention her English Mastiff baby, to do some digging and root out whoever's behind the killings. And I apologize, I did not have that. There you go. There's a much. We'll give that a couple seconds. You doing okay? Oh, bye. Good morning, Mary. Happy Monday. Sullen and quiet here in Virginia. Wants to rain. We'll see if it works up enough gumption to do so. Keeping fingers crossed. Indeed. Crossing those fingers for you. Too. Need to go out and do a rain dance. They won't mind if you're naked. Chaos at the Lazy Bones Bookshop by Emmeline Duncan, first in a Halloween bookshop mystery. Bailey Briggs adores her year-round Halloween-themed town of Alien Hollow, Oregon, but when she takes over her grandfather's beloved bookshop, Lazy Bones Books, she accidentally discovers the town's secret dark side. Normally, spooky season is Bailey Briggs' favorite time of year and her Halloween-themed small town's time to shine. But between managing Lazy Bone Books, working on her graphic novel in progress, and running the spooky season literary festival, Bailey hardly has a moment to enjoy Alien Hollow's spot-on seasonal vibes. Not to mention, at every turn, she seems to be tripping over the contentious crew of Gone Ghouls, a ghost-hunting reality TV show currently filming around town. Bailey tries to stay focused on the Lit Festival, which is supposed to kick off Alien Hollow's annual Halloween fair. Instead, this year's festival begins with a murder. It's bad enough Bailey discovered the victim, but now as a lead suspect with some admittedly damning evidence pointing her way, she's got to clear her name. And with the help of her librarian friend Colby and Jack Skeleton, her world-class bookshop dog, and the absolute bestest boy ever, Bailey sets out to solve a murder. Charlotte Isles Ills is not a teacher, not a detective mysteries series by Katie Siegel, second in that series. Mention returning to the scene of a crime, and people don't usually picture a middle school, but that's where kid detective Lottie Isles, I'm just going to say Isles, sorry, enjoyed some of her greatest success, solving mysteries and winning acclaim before the world of adult responsibilities came crashing in. 20 something Charlotte is now back in the classroom, this time as a substitute teacher. However, as much as she's tried to escape the shadow of her younger self, others haven't forgotten about Lottie. In fact, a fellow teacher is hoping for help discovering the culprit behind anonymous threats being sent to her and her aunt, who's running for re election to the Board of Education. At first, Charlotte assumes the messages are a harmless prank, but maybe it's a good thing she left a detective kit hidden in the band room storage closet all those years ago, just in case. Because the threats are escalating, and it's clear that untangling mysteries isn't child's play anymore. Puzzle Me a Murder by Roz Noonan. Coffee, coffee was required. This is described as the Golden Girls meets Puzzle Lovers. Empathetic to a fault, librarian Alice Pepper always had a natural talent for figuring out people and puzzles in the small Oregon town of West Hazel. But as a mystery permeates the quiet Pacific Northwestern community, murder is a challenge she's not prepared to solve. Down on her luck, Alice had hoped to retire before turning 65, not struggle to keep her cozy home and dependable job. But even after divorce leaves her golden years a mess, the pieces always come together with a little help from her friends, a fun loving crew who thrive on jigsaws over coffee, cocktails, and gossip. So when it's time to defend close confidant Ruby Milliner, she springs into action. Only in this case, supporting Ruby means proving she didn't murder her cheating husband. Ruby never wanted to kill George, although anger can make a person say questionable and incriminating things, and scheming, deceitful George made a lot of people angry. A quick investigation reveals the man was blackmailing whoever he could for a quick payday, from his mistress to the most prominent residents in town. A Very Woodsy Murder by Ellen Byron. Mary says, finished. Has anyone seen Charlene Salter? It was good and I enjoyed it. I've started Southern Man by Greg Iles. It's a long one, 980 pages. Wow, not sure I can commit to that much. Well, you just do a bite at a time. Set yourself a goal of X number of pages every day. Emily, who comes on sprints, it reads those big honking huge ones, and that's how she's doing it. And went to Charlottesville yesterday and explored the Scrappy Elephant, a thrift shop for artists. Wow. Oh, I bet that was so cool. Came home empty handed, though, not even tempted with anything. That's probably safe. Whew. Kim finished two books. The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek was good, but hard. Yes. Very sad, but I hear that's a very good read. All right. A Very Woodsy Murder by Ellen Byron, first in the Golden Motel Mysteries. Down on her luck, sitcom writer Dee Stern is flipping the script. Twice divorced and wasting her talents on an obnoxious kids show, the lifelong Angelino embraces the urge to jump in her car and keep driving. It's a road trip with no destination until she pulls into a mid-century motel filled with cobwebs and retro charm. Nestled in the shadows of a national park, it's a time capsule of a place that, like her, could use some work. So, in the most impulsive move of her life, Dee teams up with best friend Jeff Cornetta, who happens to be her first ex-husband, to transform the aging ranch into the Golden Motel of the Mountains, a hiker's oasis on the edge of the wilderness. But Dee and Jeff soon realized there couldn't be two people more unprepared for the hospitality business. There's also the panic-inducing reality of prowling bears in a general store as the only shopping spot for miles. Living and working in the middle of nowhere takes some getting used to, especially when a disrespectful guest ends up murdered. Now, with the motel duo topping the suspect list, Dee must steer clear of a meddling park ranger, face her past in showbiz, and determine if the killer is a local or tourist. Because, as she quickly finds out, there are many things worse than a one-star review. Indeed. Lindsay Davis has a new one. I have the sequel from Hoopla, not sure if I'm ready to read it. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you need to have that break in between. Something fluffy. This is 12th in the Flavia Albia historical series. I've not read this series. It is in first century Rome. First century Rome is plagued by all the evils that have beset major cities since time immemorial: crime, corruption, squalor, and the worst of all, tourists. When a barge full of those entitled creatures arrives in Rome, they hit all the touristy hotspots: the amphitheater, the Capitol, the dodgy bars with dubious entertainments, before departing for the next destination, leaving behind one of their party, dead and floating in the Tiber. While the authorities first try to pass her death off as a suicide, it's quickly proved that the victim strangled to death and her body dumped. When Flavia Albia, a private informer, learns that the victim was in Rome searching for the man who abandoned her, Florius, Albia's vicious nemesis, Albia is determined to find out the truth behind the murder and finally have her revenge. And that's all we need to know as we need to keep moving on. The Last Line by Scott Lyerly. The new production at Ellie Marlowe's community theater could save her from financial ruin, but her overbearing lead, Reginald Thornton IV, is determined to antagonize every cast member. Nervous with her Tourette syndrome flaring, Ellie is relieved when opening night seems to be going well. But then Reginald's death scene at the end of the play turns out to be all too real. The state police write the death off as a heart attack, but several things don't add up, and Ellie and her childhood friend Bill Starlin, the local chief of police, begin investigating. When another person linked to the theater is attacked, they're convinced a killer is on the loose. Vicki Delaney has a new one. Well known in Cozy Mystery Land. 5th in the Tea by the Sea series. Members of the Reynolds and Hill families are staying in Lily's grandmother's bed and breakfast, and now they've gathered at Tea by the Sea to sip some delicious blends while they shower bride-to-be Hannah Hill with presents. But the last package Hannah unwraps contains a beheaded Raggedy Ann doll and triggers a blood-curdling scream. A doll like this was the last gift from her father before he died long ago, and she's chilled to the bone. Lily senses that the shocking anonymous gift just might be related to other tensions she's picking up on. The mothers-in-law have been sniping at each other, and then Lily, out walking her dog, overhears the groom's father, Ralph, offering his son a very sizable bribe to call off the wedding. She's relieved when Greg angrily turns him down, but with so many people steamed at each other, can this event possibly go smoothly? The answer is no. It suddenly has to be postponed when Ralph is found dead in his bed, a bottle of whiskey beside him. When tests indicate the booze was infused with a lethal substance, it becomes a murder case, and of course accusations are flying wildly, with the guests all too willing to believe the worst about each other. Now, to find out whether all this family drama led to a fatality, Lily will have to turn up the heat. And this one was a cute one. Lucy Burdett's Kitchen, Recipes and Stories from the Key West Food Critic Mysteries by Lucy Burdett. It's only 170 pages, but it looks cute. The Key West Food Critic series is known for its dastardly deaths, creative clues, and mouth-watering mysteries. Now, for the first time, all the recipes featured in the series are gathered in a collection for the first time. Recipes include Lucy Burdett's one bowl chocolate cake, Sam's cornbread sausage stuffing, Scarlett O'Hara cupcakes, Chef Adele's cheesy polenta, Haley Snow's shrimp salad, and many more. Says some of the materials have been published before, but it is a collection of the things that were in the previous books. So yes, Vivian Chen has a new one. People will be very, very happy about this. They love this series. 10th in a noodle shop series, Peking Duck and Cover. Lana Lee and friends return for a fiery Chinese New Year celebration, etc. Chinese New Year is supposed to be a time of fresh beginnings and celebrations of good fortune to come. Naturally, the shop owners of Asia Village jump at the chance to participate in creating a memorable holiday event that will bring positive light to the plaza and prosperity for all those involved. With Lana Lee as his right-hand woman and head event planner, Ian Sung orchestrates an extravagant evening filled with music, live entertainment, and generous giveaways. But at the end of the night, during an elaborate fireworks show in the parking lot, a member of the Lion Dance performance team is found dead backstage with a single bullet hole through the heart and a red envelope in their pocket containing 4 $1 bills, an omen of death. When news of a curse on Asia Village makes its way around the plaza, Lana readily agrees to find out who killed the talented dancer before anyone else is marked for death. There's no murder like show murder. I was not going to sing that, sorry. By M.S. Green. Tasha Weaver is most at home in the cozy backstage world of the Eastbrook Playhouse. As the costume shop head at the charming regional theater, she's used to watching dramatic acts of love and revenge from the shadows. But when Kurt Moser, the insufferable Broadway reject who stars in their production of Annie Get Your Gun, is shot center stage, the spotlight turns to her. Everyone knows Kurt was difficult to work with, and after he got into a fight with both director Marnie Mason and artistic leader Arthur Winston, he promptly decided to quit the show. In deep financial trouble, the Eastbrook Playhouse depended on a big name like Kurt to keep afloat. With reporters coming in from the Big Apple to Tasha's little corner of Connecticut, she realizes it's up to her to save their local theater and keep her community safe. After all, the show must go on, but what do you do when the killer could very well be one of your loved ones? Theater must be the setting du jour. Not that I'm complaining. My undergraduate degree is in theater. Okay, I need to get back to the Key West series. I understand completely. Murder at Cleve College by Maren Allingham, 9th in a Flora Steele Mysteries. Sussex, 1958. A radiant Flora is being twirled across the dance floor by her dashing new husband, Jack. It's the perfect wedding in Abbeymead until a mysterious stranger is found dead just outside the village. But when Flora finds an envelope tucked into the man's silver cigarette case, the address is key to discovering the poor chap's name, Russell Farr. He isn't known to any of the villagers, so at first all signs point to a tragic accident. That is until they discover Farr previously worked at the esteemed Cleve College, where Jack is now a writer in residence. The college has made Jack feel uneasy ever since he learned his predecessor drowned in its lake, and now it appears a second suspicious death is connected to it. But who would want 2 mild-mannered academics dead? Tanya Koppis has a new one. Shock. 10th in the Kenny Lowry Mysteries. Grave as all get out. Kenny Lowry thought being sheriff in Cottonwood, Kentucky was a breeze, until a psychic claiming to commune with the dead winds up stone cold dead herself. Things go from bad to worse when a grave is found dug up, revealing secrets that Cottonwood would rather keep buried. With her ghostly papa, the town's former sheriff, providing his usual down home humor and guidance, Kenny faces the challenge of unraveling a tangled web of deceit. As she digs deeper into the murder, Kenny must also contend with Deputy Scott Lee running against her in the upcoming election, spurred by the ambitious Tavin Tidwell, etc. We're running out of time, so I'm doing the best I can. Historical mystery, Murder Ignited, 6 in the Penrose and Pike Mysteries by Rose Pascoe. Penrose and Pike's wedding dreams turn to ashes when the local women's refuge goes up in flames. Grace Penrose is used to protesters at Lavender House, but she never expected them to set the refuge on fire, especially not on her wedding day. And her mother's carefully orchestrated wedding plan definitely did not include Charlie Pike disappearing into an inferno. The discovery of a woman's body in the smoldering ruins rouses Grace and Charlie's detective instincts. With marital bliss on their minds, an investigation is the last thing they need. But how can they ignore a murder, especially when a second victim has links to the notorious imposter selling opium to the Chinese community? This one is set in the 1890s in New Zealand. Murder on Sunshine Street. Oh, we're going to not make it. By Diane Harmon, 9th in the Ozarks Cozy Mystery Series. When Della Fox goes on a trip to Springfield, Missouri with her friend Michelle, she anticipates a relaxing few days attending a literary event featuring their favorite author, Chris McKee. Instead, she finds herself plunged into a tangled web of secrets, lies, and murder. The serene charm of Sunshine Street is shattered when a brutal crime occurs at the very bookstore hosting the event. The victim, Viv Daniels, is discovered in a back room, casting suspicion on the store owner, Samantha Duncan. Della, despite her initial reluctance, finds herself compelled to help Sam clear her name and uncover the true killer. In the Spirit of Murder by Rhonda Blackhurst, 1st in the Spirit Lake Mysteries. That's a pretty cover. 6-year sober life coach and skeptic Andy Rose Kazmarek and her red retriever emotional support animal Aspen become the new owners of the surmised haunted Spirit Lake Inn in Minnesota. When Andy Rose finds a body in the inn's kitchen, she fears it will be the death of what's most important, the stellar reputation of the inn her grandparents, Grandpop, and Honey built. Aware of the risk of stress in sobriety, she gets an AA sponsor, feisty, spirited Sister Alice, who 30 years ago traded in one habit for another. Andy Rose falls prey to a new, potentially more dangerous addiction, solving the murder. But in typical Sister Alice fashion, she transforms the danger of solving a murder into a spirited good time. Will Andy Rose flip from skeptic to believer? All right, we almost made it, but we ran out of time. Kim says going to try and stay awake for online Bible study. Oh, nice. He says you've gone through a lot, though. There's always Friday. Exactly. Good point. Mary, hope this is a good work week for you. And the service manager will be back to work this. Yep. We're gonna have a little chat. Our service manager, an HR kind of chat. Mary says, thanks so much. Nice to see you and Kim on this Monday morning. Good to see you guys. Again, I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Monday nights. Tonight is Storm on Storm Reads. If you want to do some sprints and chatting, they do a lot of chatting rather than sprinting, but you can do both. I do sprints every Tuesday and Thursday evening at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Those go for 2.5 hours. And then on Saturday afternoons at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern, that one goes for 5 hours. And I do mostly sprinting on those if you want to, have that ambiance time. Kim says, have a great day. You too, baby. Mary, we have a double big Claim It Live sale. I plan on not buying anything. I hope. I like to help Randy out, but don't need anything. All right, guys. Have a very good Monday. Hope to see you soon. Keep cool, keep hydrated, read good books, and as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom. Have a good day and God bless. And once again, Keo knows this is the cue to get going.